I'll do something good today.
Hey y'all, welcome to Dad Does Dinner. I'm Chase, and today we're going to do some super easy beer can chicken. Beer can chicken, the chicken is set over an open can of beer. As the chicken cooks, the beer kind of flavors it and moistens it from the inside. It's real easy to do. All you need is a few simple ingredients and your grill set up for indirect heat. First we start with our beer. Doesn't matter what kind of beer you use. For this we went with the Busch NA beer. It was cheap and easy to buy. You know, I haven't bought beer in a long time, and I couldn't believe that for non-alcoholic beer it was $7 a six pack. I remember when I was a kid hanging out in front of the convenience store trying to get somebody old enough to buy me beer. It was $5.79 a 12 pack. I guess that just means that I'm old. Any type of beer will do, and if you are completely averse to beer, get yourself a soup can and some chicken broth. That works just as well. So I got my can of beer, I poured about a third of it out, and then I cut it open carefully with scissors. That's the hardest part of this whole operation, because that beer can will want to cut you. So right here I've got 1/4 of an onion, and I want to chop this just into small enough pieces that it'll fit inside of the beer can. Whenever I have the chance to add flavor, I like to take advantage of it. And this will help. These are aromatics that are going in to flavor the chicken even more. And now I got 3 cloves of garlic here. And I'm just going to give these a simple smash and peel and put in the cloves. So what I have here is about 1/2 cup of my Almost Famous barbecue rub. If you are a super fan like Emmy and Super Nate, you probably already have this recipe memorized, but I mix up a big batch of it with 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/8 of a cup of salt, 1/8 of a cup of pepper, a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, and then a healthy tablespoon of smoked paprika. Mix that all up, use what I need, save the rest for later. So what I have here is a 3-pound chicken, just a regular old grocery store chicken. First, I'm going to cover it liberally with oil. When you oil meat, it browns better. You may remember from my previous chicken episode that I stuffed a compound butter of herbs and garlic underneath the skin. Well, in this one, we're not going to do that. We're just going to oil the skin. So we've got lots of oil. And now we're just going to hit this everywhere with the rub. You know, when you're sprinkling things with your spices, your salt, your pepper, or whatever, the higher you go up on it, the better spread you're going to get. The bad news is it gets salt and sugar and all your spices all over the floor, and your wife's not happy with that. So I try to be as careful as I can. After 17 years of marriage, she knows I'm a mess maker. I try not to be. Damn, sometimes it's just hard. All right, so we're going to get this rub. It's pretty good. I'm going to have a little bit on the inside of it too. Gosh, I love the smell of this rub. I know that Joey Hancock, one of my former Lone Star College Montgomery Theater students, the one who did the logo that you see at the beginning and end of the Dad Does Dinner episodes, he's also working on a label for my Almost Famous barbecue rub. So hopefully that'll be happening soon. If you didn't know that Joey, he is now a wedding videographer, and he'll happily come shoot your wedding, put it all together for you. Does a good job at that. So I just pulled out the innards of the chicken. Go ahead and do that beforehand. I didn't realize this chicken had that in it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of that. So when you're done, there should not be a spot on your chicken that is not covered. All right, so here, this is my beer can holder. Holders like this are available just about everywhere. Walmart, H-E-B, and Kroger all have something like this. This is one I've had for a while, and actually they're a little bit fancier now. Some of these have a kind of a bowl around it so it catches all the juices if you want to use those juices for some type of gravy or type of sauce. This one's pretty as simple as they come. Beer can goes in the center of it, and then you violate your chicken, and it just goes right over the top, nice and easy. And there we go. Happy chicken, ready for the grill. Some people, like my dad, like to take the liver and gizzard and the innards from the chicken and fry them up and eat them. I'm not a fan of that. It's very distinctive, kind of strong. The best way I can describe it is an irony flavor, but if you've never had one, go ahead, give it a try. Just a quick dip in some flour, throw it in a pan with about 1/4 inch of oil in it, brown on both sides, and boom, chicken livers and gizzards. Around here, they end up as cat food.
So here's the setup I have for my grill. You see that I've got it set up with all the coals on one side. And this grill comes with a hinged lid on it that you can raise up, and so I can add more coals. I'm not positive I'm going to need to during this process, but when I grill a turkey, that sure is convenient because I usually have to add coals over the course of grilling a turkey. Okay, if you don't have one of these grill baskets, it looks like this for your coals, that's okay. Just arrange the coals on one side of the grill. I almost always use oak lump charcoal. That's my favorite. It burns hot and fast, and I like the flavor that the charcoal smoke brings to it. And you can see that most of those coals are completely white. That means my fire is ready to go. Into my chicken, I've inserted a probe thermometer. I use a Thermometer digital thermometer. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. You can get by with an Insta-read thermometer just like this, and that'll work just fine for you. I do like the probe thermometer because that way I can monitor the temperature throughout. I don't have to keep sticking my bird with the instant read thermometer. The second hardest part of this operation was carefully carrying the chicken out here and placing her on the grill. So that's what I've done. Placed it far to the side away from the coals, and then I'm going to put the lid over this and let it start to get all nice and happy. We're going to check this every 20 minutes, and I'm going to turn it every 20 minutes. By turn it, I mean I'm going to rotate it so that other parts of the bird face the side with the coals in it.
We had an exciting weekend here at Dad Does Dinner, participating in Battle Nacho with One Arm Brewing and Barbecue. I'm happy to report that Dad Does Dinner did take the victory, however the vote was close. So a week from this Saturday, on Saturday, May 30th, we are gonna have Battle Burger. And I'll tell you right now, poor Mike doesn't even stand a chance in this one. He's going down again. So y'all keep watching and keep liking and subscribing to both my page, Dad Does Dinner, and Mike's page at One Arm Brewing and Barbecue. I'm also excited to announce that later this week, the Q Brothers and Soldier Tim will be over here, and we're gonna make up a bunch of different kinds of hot dogs. Looking forward to that. Those guys are hilarious. They're a lot of fun to be around. And we're gonna make some Sonora dogs, some Chicago dogs, a Texas dog, a Tex-Mex dog, all kinds of hot dogs, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. That video should be available either late this week or early next week. I had so much fun with Mike in Battle Nacho. Doing a live video like that was a first for me, and I really enjoyed doing that. And tomorrow morning, I'm really excited to be cooking for my high school. Yes, my high school in Cairo, Egypt, Cairo American College. They're gonna zoom into my kitchen, and I'm gonna make some barbecue pasta, a microwave chocolate cake, and a microwave breakfast burrito. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to giving back a little bit to my high school. As always, I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Mike at One Arm Brewing and Barbecue in San Angelo, Texas. That's the mini micro brewery with the all-you-can-eat endless sausage platter. Once again, I saw Mike posting some pics about the work they do with the local food bank through their church. Mike and I are both big believers in giving back and doing what you can for somebody else. This coronavirus is a crazy time as Texas opens up more and more. Some of us are real excited, some people are scared to death, and many more of us just kind of fall right in the middle of all of that. So hopefully things will go well, but I know that it stokes fear, and we do our best to get out of ourselves to quell that fear, and doing something for somebody else is a good way to do that. So do something good, y'all. What'd you do kind for somebody today?
We are 20 minutes in. We're starting to get some nice browning on this bird, and now I'm going to carefully turn the chicken so the other side of it faces the heat. So that's done. You may have noticed earlier that I had the probe in the chicken facing vertically, and that's such a rookie mistake, and I can't tell you how many times I do that, because of course I can't get the lid on if the probe is sticking up. So I moved it over to the side, still deep within the breast, and just in that first 20 minutes our chicken's gone up 40 degrees. Right after 20 more minutes, this chicken's getting close to being done. You can see that skin's getting nice and crispy. I'm going to give it one more turn, and then probably in about 10 to 15 minutes this will be done. All right, look how beautiful this chicken looks. Nice golden brown and delicious looking. Temperature's at 155, so now I'm gonna pull it and wrap it up and let it rest for 30 minutes, and that temperature will raise and do some carryover cooking.
I'm gonna wrap this up with my extra thick and wide Kardashian foil, and I'm gonna leave the beer can in it so any residual steam that's left can just keep bathing the bird in flavor. Because I want to ensure good carryover cooking, I wrap this bird fairly tight. So we let this rest for 30 minutes, and now we're gonna carve it up and get it ready to serve.
So I got the back side up, and I just want to take out that backbone with my scissors. You know, often when I'm doing a chicken, I like to spatchcock it first and then cook it, but because we were using the beer can, you know, I left it all intact. So this is kind of a reverse spatchcocking of it. Spatchcock is when you remove the backbone and you open up the chicken and cook it flat. And of course this time it's already cooked. So I'm gonna spread it out a little bit. I'm just gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut this right in half. Because it's cooked, it cuts fairly easily. Any decent kitchen shears will do that for you. There's a couple of bones you gotta get through. And there we have 2 chicken halves. And now I like to separate the thigh from the breast, and I like to keep the leg with it. And just find where it cuts and look how easily that comes apart. All right.
And look how pretty that looks.
Now for the breast, I like to just cut the breast in half and leave this wing on it. There's a little bit of force to do that.
We have a new visitor in the house. I'll show you her in a minute.
All right, so there's one side, now to the other side. Yeah, I intended to show you how I did the oven crispy fries that are going with this chicken. But my plans got a little bit derailed. A blue heeler was dumped in our neighborhood, and we have a lady who takes in mostly cats, but she'll take in any type of animal, and she took in the blue heeler and posted about it, and I said, yes, we're definitely interested in at least fostering her, if not keeping her. She's a little skittish, a little shy right now. I don't know that she's ever been around a cat, but what you just heard was her first look at Garrison, our cat. So there we have our chicken all cut up. Now let's give it a taste. Cut off a piece of the breast. And I like the skin.
That is so moist. It is so moist from cooking it from the inside out with that beer can. You don't really taste the flavor of beer, but you can pick up the aromatics we put in of the garlic, the onion, and the rosemary.
My favorite part of the chicken is the thigh. I'm definitely a dark meat man. So let me cut off a little sliver of this with some skin.
The skin with that almost famous barbecue rub on it, it's good. It's got that nice cross of sweet and salty. And then the thigh, you know, the dark meat's juicier than the white meat, and it's just tremendous. It's got a really good mouthfeel to it, and it tastes great. I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend and colleague, Linda Woodward. Linda watches Dad Does Dinner religiously. She cooks a lot of my dishes, and she's a big fan of ours. I also like to say hello to Beth. That's my sister-in-law's mother. I know she's tried several of these recipes, and she always has something good to say. This is our new visitor. She's yet unnamed. I am liking the name Dolly a lot, but we'll see. Peyton didn't reject it out of hand.
but I sure like that name for her. So we'll see. She's a little skittish right now, not quite sure what's going on, and we'll see how she does.
So that's an easy way to make a moist, delicious chicken that's seasoned just right. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes for you. I'll see y'all next time.
Let's all do something good today.